Hey traders, Dennis Wilburn, the AutoPilot Trader. Have you been struggling in 2022 to put together consistently profitable trades? If so, you're not alone. The whipsaw and other factors in the market have caused this to be a very volatile and tough to make profits market. Later in this video, I'm going to be talking specifically about two things you can do today that will help you get back on track for consistently profitable trades and it's reducing the threat of whipsaw. But first, let's get into today's session and market review. We'll cover the indexes, a stock that is reporting after hours, which way is it going to go? You'll be surprised. And I'll share the two tips on how to improve the consistency of your profits. So let's go ahead and get into today's session right now. The theme for today's session is basically don't fall asleep on this market. It will rip your face off. The market today was a little bit mixed. I want to remind you that all the materials we do present are for training purposes. Traders should trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. And so what are the indexes doing? Let's jump ahead over to the S&P. As we see, S&P for the day, I've left in these Fibonacci's for a reason. One is to show you that momentum has basically slacked off, much like an aircraft that is trying to climb to higher altitudes. As it gets up higher in the atmosphere, momentum can sometimes slack off, and then basically the aircraft will start diving back to Earth, or at least level out. And that's one of the things that could be happening with the indexes as we look at them. The S&P. The S&P, we actually have a little bit of a bearish harami in today's candlestick. It is in an overbought condition on the TSI, the True Strength Index, and also overbought on the longer-term market forecast. Now, the market forecast can stay overbought for a long time as we continue to proceed up. I'm looking for potential pullbacks into the moving averages, a little bit of extended away from the 20. So it wouldn't surprise me to see us pull back into those levels. Notice I left this Fibonacci extension because the targets for the upside move here was one, the 78% extension there, the 100 there, and the 1272 there. Any three of those could be the upside target where price actions are going to turn around. So on the S&P, wait for the momentum to actually show that it's shifted. Wait for at least the TSI to roll back over. Look for a bearish reversal signal, which we do have one right now. It's a small one, but it is a bearish harami on the spiders. Nasdaq has actually been pushing up to higher highs. We broke out of the 100% extension, so it hit that, stalled a little bit, and then pushed up higher above that again today. It may run up here to the 330 level and then reverse off of that. TSI extended in the over plus 42 area. However, no indication that it wants to roll over. Keep in mind that topping is oftentimes a process. You see this topping process here. It basically corresponds to a drive sideways. That type of a pattern has not shown up over here on the NASDAQ whatsoever. So, I'm just keeping my eye on it. Note that the S&P was down for the day. The NASDAQ was up for the day, and the Russell, which we're going to next, is also down for the day. And as you can see, the Russell, not quite a bearish candlestick, and so it doesn't count as that. TSI, though, is what? It is extended. It is overbought. So we'll see if we roll over here. It has not crossed to the downside, and we do not have a pattern here that is saying, hey, I want to pull back. With the situation that we currently have in the with the Russell, let's throw a Fibonacci on here. How did it do? Did it get up and hit its extension marks? And the answer to that is no, not quite. Here's the 78, here's the 100, here's the 1272. The Russell is running into resistance or running out of gas momentum earlier than the other indexes, but in line with what? Past areas of resistance. Look to your left and you see this area of resistance right over here. So it wouldn't surprise me to get a pullback. A healthy pullback would be a pullback into the 20-day moving average, or I would put an alert here about the 186 level. And also down here at the 184.25, 184.50 level for a pullback into that area for a bounce back up to the upside. So that's what we've got with the indexes. Let's take a look at a stock that is reporting after hours and see if it has actually moved any. And that was VRTX. VRTX has been a very strong stock for us that we have traded multiple times going into this year. One of the things I like to do, and here's tip number one, pay attention. Tip number one on have a place to go that you know a corral of stocks will perform well. And one of the things I utilize on that is basically a corral of thoroughbred stocks, which correspond to quarterly earnings reports, and I track those. I basically have about 43 stocks here. I don't trade them all at the same time, but I review them as we approach earnings. Anywhere from 8 weeks to 4 weeks ahead of earnings, I'm looking for a potential trades, and I'll trade both stocks and options on this. If you want to learn more about it, just shoot me a email. By having as I said, a corral of thoroughbred stocks that have a history of moving going into earnings, I know that I can get, when done properly, I can pick up anywhere from a 5 to 10% move on these stocks. And as you see, do all of them work? No. But overall, if I get 3 or 4 or 5 trades, they tend to give me a nice little return over a short period of time. Keeps me focused on a small group of excellent stocks. So that's one of the areas. I'll check back in with VRTX in a little bit to see where it's going from here. The other item I want to talk to you about really quickly is this. And this is a tip from Jesse Livermore. The other part of our tip today is learn to be patient with your trades. Don't take action with a trade until the market itself confirms your opinion. Being a little late in a trade is insurance that your opinion is correct. In other words, don't be an impatient trader. But how do you do that? That's always the struggle. How do you achieve that? One of the best ways I've found to achieve that is follow my 3-step setup for stocks and ETFs, which is to require candlestick reversal signal, a crossover of the TSI on a minimum, and then I'm operate from a level of past support / and or resistance. So that's one of the things as we look towards, let's go back over here to the Russell real quick. The Russell is looking like it's stalling. However, it is not reversed yet. So oftentimes we as traders will throw out a trade on this right here, knowing that it should reverse, but it hasn't reversed yet. So what Jesse's telling us is you wait for the reversal. Reversal candlestick and reversal on the momentum. If you wait for the reversal in the momentum, it typically gives you a higher probability of a profitable trade, therefore more consistent profit, and reduces the level of whipsaw that may be present with the trade. And that's going both ways. Upside, you wait for the cross, then you take your trade. And if you want to know how we take our trades, of course, you can always join us with the AutoPilot Trading service. Take a 3-month test flight, and you can see if it's for you. Here's a quick peek on what else is going on with VRTX. VRTX, we were about 15 minutes after the hour. Has it basically had a reaction to earnings? And I'll just whip over here to the intraday chart. And what's it looking like? Well, right now we had a reaction to the downside after earnings, and now we're popping back up. And that's about all we have. While this is positive, that it's jumping above where it closed, there's not a lot of action here. So we may continue to move higher. One of the things that I do, nothing really to report. I'm surprised we didn't get more of a move, but that's okay. So that takes care of that. What else we got going on? There's Jesse. Don't fall asleep in this market, because it will rip your face off if you do. So until next time, aloha. God bless everybody.